This now forgotten, overgrown plot of land was once a small township. All that remains are a couple of holes in the ground, a small section of a decrepit stone wall, maybe a foundation or two. Time, wind, rain, fire, and storm have nearly erased this little township from the face of the earth. Now imagine, if you can, a township with houses, a church, perhaps a schoolhouse, a blacksmith shop, a livery, and maybe even a sawmill. Walk with me through this very same spot, but this time, look. And it's not so overgrown anymore. It's not so even unfamiliar anymore. Time begins to rewind, and we wrest Mother Nature's claim on this from her tightly bound grip. The shuffle of your boots on this dusty, horse-trodden dirt road kicks up swirls and puffs of dust that stir in the warm summer breeze. Now, look, over there. Isn't that Doc Lure's house? And over there, that's the old schoolhouse where Miss Carlson held class. Down the way a bit is O'Leary's blacksmith shop, just out of earshot of the schoolhouse. But if we listen carefully, I bet we could hear that faint ping, ping of hot iron being forged into horseshoes. Hey, look, Annabelle Little lived right here, across from the church where the town picnic was held every May. This is what we, as treasure hunters, can learn with the use of historical maps. These maps are known as property maps, homeowner maps, cadastral maps, or cadastral maps, landowner maps, Beers maps, or Beers atlases. We can now walk through time and history and place ourselves in the middle of this forgotten township with knowledge, priceless knowledge. That hole in the ground is now known as Annabelle Little's house. That decrepit stone wall, we now know it was the perimeter wall to the old schoolhouse. And that old foundation is now known to us as O'Leary's blacksmith shop. No longer are we lost and wondering what was here. Now we know. The idea of this research method is to 1. Obtain historical maps of a given area, 2. Compare those maps to current modern topographical maps, satellite photos. You can get these through online resources like historicmapworks.com. Modern topographical maps you can get from the USGS, or you can even just look at road maps and aerial views from Bing.com or Google.com. Also, it's important, however, that you're able to read and interpret both these historic and current maps. These historic maps more or less correctly depict roads, with distances between landmarks even. During the time of these Beers maps or atlases, distances were measured in rods, poles, or perches. One rod is equal to 16.5 feet and is known as a quarter chain. This came about in 1620. Edmund Gunter invented what's called the Gunter's chain. It's a linked measuring device 66 feet long from one handle to the next. All road and land measurements since that day are shown on maps as chains or their divisions of rods. This is why a mile is 5,280 feet long. If you multiply a chain by 80, you'll see that 80 times 66 equals 5,280. And also, Beers maps are scaled at 160 rods, or a half mile to the inch. So, besides having a good working knowledge of the maps and symbols and scale, you must have a keen eye as well. This is where we're going to pay attention to old roads, railroad tracks, rivers, streams, lakes. And this way we can take those and look at both maps, the current map and the historic map, and see if we can't locate an area through both maps. And you do this by looking for the old railroad track, and it may run south of this little river, and all of a sudden you look over the current map and you see a railroad track that runs south of the river, and everything just lines up. So definitely helps to have a keen eye. Don't rush through this. With the knowledge you'll have gathered through careful research and the use of these maps, you can firmly place yourself in known inhabited historic sites. This is the best possible situation to put yourself in if you wish to find old coins, relics, or whatever treasure you seek. The other option, do nothing, follow the crowd like most everyone else, go out with little to no knowledge, do the obvious like everyone else, and compete in overhunted areas that haven't been productive in years. Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you're able to take something from it. If you're interested to see more on this topic, go ahead and look up T-Bone Research Methods. It's a video I made that kind of will show you graphically how I do this and use free online sites that you can use as well. Also, I've got a couple other videos that are going to be up real soon. The first one is going to be how to read topographic maps, real basic tutorial on that. The other one's going to be called making a homemade electrolysis to clean silver coins. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to subscribe to my channel. That way you get everything when I put it up. Well, folks, take care. This is Treasure Bone signing off.